My family banned me from Thanksgiving. They're conditioned for letting me back. I had to apologize for something I didn't even do. Sounds crazy, right? Well, their little power play backfired in a way they never saw coming. They thought they could control me, but they forgot one crucial detail. I was the one controlling their finances. So, what did I do? I cut off every single dollar they were living on. Stick around because this is the story of how a Thanksgiving ultimatum led to my entire family getting a harsh lesson in financial reality. It all started, as most family drama does, with something completely ridiculous. My sister, let's call her Karen, for reasons that will become very obvious, accused me of stealing her irreplaciable antique. Now, this wasn't just any locket. According to her, it was a family heirloom passed down through generations, practically radiating with historical significance. The truth. It was a trinket she bought from a flea market 2 years ago for $10. I knew this because I was with her when she bought it. The accusation came out of nowhere. We were at my parents' house for a Sunday dinner, and she suddenly started panicking, searching her purse and patting her pockets. My locket. It's gone, she wailed. Everyone started looking, and then her eyes landed on me. You were the only one near my purse, she declared, her voice filled with fake betrayal. I was stunned. I hadn't been anywhere near her bag. I tried to defend myself, reminding her it was probably just misplaced. But the more I denied it, the more guilty I looked in her eyes and, unfortunately, in my parents' eyes too. My parents, bless their hearts, have always had a soft spot for my sister's theatrics. They didn't want to deal with her meltdown, so they took the path of least resistance. Just apologize, my mom whispered to me. You know how she gets. Just say you're sorry so we can have some peace. Apologize. For something I didn't do? Absolutely not. My refusal to play along with her drama turned the situation from a minor squabble into a full-blown family crisis. My sister stormed out, vowing she couldn't be in the same room as a thief, and my parents just sighed, looking at me with disappointment. A week later, the Thanksgiving invitation text came. It was a group chat, and the message from my mom was chillingly clear. We'd love for you to join us for Thanksgiving, but only after you've sincerely apologized to your sister for the distress you've caused. I read it, and then I read it again. They were actually banning me from a major family holiday unless I falsely confessed to theft. That was the moment something inside me snapped. For years, I had put up with their coddling of my sister, her constant drama, and the way they always expected me to be the bigger person. But this was a line I wasn't willing to let them cross. I didn't reply to the text. Instead, I sat down and started thinking, not about the locket, which I was sure would turn up in her messy car, but about the bigger picture. For the last 5 years, since I sold my tech startup, I had been quietly and generously supporting my family. I paid my parents' mortgage. I covered their car payments and insurance. I paid for my sister's rent on her chic downtown apartment, her car, and even her phone bill. I never held it over their heads. I did it because I loved them and I could afford to. I wanted them to be comfortable. But now, sitting there, staring at that text, I realized my generosity hadn't bought me love or respect. It had bought them a sense of entitlement. They saw me not as a son or a brother, but as a walking, talking ATM who should also bend to their every whim. So, I decided to conduct a little experiment. If they could cut me out of their family life over a lie, I could cut them out of my financial life over the truth. The next day was the first of the month. A lot of bills were due. I logged into my online banking. First, I canceled the automatic transfer for my parents' mortgage. Click. Then, the payment for their car loans. Click. Next. I went to the account I used to pay my sister's rent. Cancelled. Her car payment. Cancelled. Her phone plan. Cancelled. With each click, I felt a strange sense of liberation. It wasn't about revenge. It was about re-establishing boundaries they had long since bulldozed. I wasn't being cruel. I was simply ceasing to be their provider. The silence lasted for about 3 days. Then, the storm hit. My mom called first, her voice frantic. The bank just called. They said the mortgage payment was rejected. Did you forget to make the payment? I calmly replied. No, Mom, I didn't forget. I stopped making the payment. There was a long pause. What do you mean, you stopped? She stammered. I explained. You banned me from the family until I apologize. So, I figured if I'm not part of the family, I'm not responsible for the family's expenses. The line went dead. An hour later, my dad called. He tried a different tactic. Anger. What is the meaning of this? After everything we've done for you, you pull a stunt like this. I held my ground. What you've had done for me lately is accuse me of being a thief and ban me from Thanksgiving. This isn't a stunt, it's a consequence. He started yelling, but I just said, I'm not going to be shouted at, and hung up. Of course, the grand finale was my sister. She called me screaming, absolutely hysterical. My landlord is threatening to evict me. My car is going to be repossessed. My phone is shut off. What did you do? I let her vent, and when she finally paused to take a breath, premeditated coolly, I didn't do anything, Karen. I just stopped paying for your life. Since you can't be around the thief, I figured you wouldn't want to be supported by one either. She started sobbing, a mix of rage and panic, claiming I was ruining her life. I simply told her, you should probably start looking for a job. And by the way, have you checked under your car seat for that locket? And then I blocked her number. Thanksgiving Day came, and I spent it with friends who actually valued my company. It was peaceful, fun, and drama-free. Meanwhile, I heard through the grapevine that my family's Thanksgiving was a disaster. My parents were stressed about their finances, and my sister showed up in tears, having finally found the irreplaceable locket in the bottom of an old gym bag. Apparently, she tried to offer a half-hearted apology to my parents, but the damage was already done. The argument wasn't about the locket anymore. It was about the mountain of bills that were now their own responsibility. A week after Thanksgiving, I received a letter. It was a long handwritten apology from my parents and my sister. They admitted they were wrong, that they had taken my generosity for granted, and that they had handled the situation horribly. They begged me to talk to them, not about money, but about fixing our family. I did eventually agree to meet with them. I explained that my actions weren't about punishing them, but about showing them that my role in the family couldn't just be financial. It took a long time, and our relationships are still a work in progress. I did eventually help my parents figure out a budget so they could manage their own mortgage, and I gave my sister a one-time lump sum to help her get on her feet, with a strict understanding that my bank was now closed for good. Our family gatherings are different now. They're a bit more humble, but a lot more honest, and I've never been asked to apologize for something I didn't do again. Sometimes, the only way to make people appreciate what you do for them is to simply stop doing it. So what do you think? Did I do the right thing? Or was I too harsh? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.